I've read nine, 10, 9, 9, 9 books in the month of January, and I decided to share with my dearest friend my thoughts on them. So let me see here. Let me just there. So this is my little. Let me see if I can get that. Okay, this is my, excuse me, tier rank thing. We have McDonald's fries. These are books that made me, it transcended this planetary existence. These are books that made me stop and think about my life. The next tier is 2024. These are books that gave me hope. Just like 2024. It was the last time I had any real hope. So, um, there's that. Seeing the Boys in 10 Years. These are books that make me go, eh. I may laugh at an anecdote or cringe a little, but all in all, it's just the meme. These are books that made me mad. These are books that whenever I think about them, I go, huh, why? And finally, the Grammys. I forgot about them, just like how I forgot the Grammys were this year. Okay, so, excuse me. Let's see what's first in this. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This is a book. I listened to this on audio actually, but this is something that occasionally I remember I read this and I go, if you know, you know, and you certainly know. I listened to this while driving to school and I cried in the parking lot at 6:40 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Dance of Thieves. Uh-huh. That's sometimes in media you receive, or sometimes in life, I should say, you receive something that it just makes you believe that there is hope for a better future. Mm-hmm. Next is Emma. I'm gonna be real with you. I read 3 pages, 3 pages before I realized it's not the vibe. I will pick it up again one day, but right now it's just not what I'm looking for. Shadow and Bone. You know, where would I put this? Seeing the Boys in 10 years. I liked it. It made me laugh. It made me go at times. But will I be continuing the series? Yes. Will I look back at this in 10 years and think it changed my life profoundly? No. And I think that's okay. The Inheritance Games. When I tell you the amount of TikTok edits that I willingly subjected myself to after finishing this book, we don't talk about the narrative haunting that this book has. We don't talk about the amount of puzzles that this man was able to make in his life. We don't talk about the fact that I will never hear the words Emily or Tobias the same way again. Anyways, the House of the Spirits. Hmm. Here's here's an interesting thing. I did like this book, but I was not made aware of the content material of this book, especially towards the end. And Esteban, when I get my hands on you, kind sir, not kind sir, actually, loved Clara. She, her and Blanca were my Shaylas throughout the entirety of this novel. I just don't understand. You know what? There's no time for that. The Langoliers. All I can say to this is that I'm glad I didn't choose this book to read on the plane. The night we became strangers. Never has a book made me think about the people in my life who I don't speak to anymore. Never had this book made me realize the consequences of our actions, despite in the, you know, it may not seem like a bad thing in the beginning, but then once you go down the line, you realize every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It made me feel the same way of House of the Spirits, but in a different vibe, you know? Um, it was a good book. Real good book, actually. The Nightingale. I mean, I read this book and I thought I was watching the news. Take that, interpret that, whatever you like. The Knicks. I got, it was like the 85% mark before I DNF'd it. I would like to return to this, but hmm, let's go with the Grammys. I I don't know how I managed to forget this book because I deeply recall the amount of pain it took me to lift this book with one wrist. It still hurts. See that? But, it wasn't bad from what I remember. A lot of trauma. Yeah. Yellow face. This book, I read it all the way through. This book, it's a, it's a decent book, but this woman, this woman is so, everything that happened in this book because of a pancake, if you know, you know. A pancake was the cause of this avalanche of a novel. Again, I liked reading this book. It was very insightful. Did it take a lot of me to comprehend? Yes, I spent a lot of time comprehending this novel. I don't remember when I finished this, but I remember I was laying in bed, and as I turned to the last page and read the last word, all I could think about was the fact that it ended like that. This woman, this woman, again, I'll save that rant for a later date. But what made you think, you know what? If you were gonna do that, no, you know what? This is my final ranking. Actually, I'm gonna shuffle things around. So in this, my top book of in January was in fact The Nightingale. There, I said it. Yeah, that seemed good for coffee. Yeah. I'm gonna put that in the front. It was actually a good book. It's just I was listening to some of it on audio. Again, was not aware of the content warnings. I was so not aware, in fact, that my hand is glitching. Anyways, actually, let's put that there. No, oh my gosh, there. Excuse me. This is my final ranking. Would I recommend you read these books? Yeah, absolutely. Would I say that some of those books hurt me more than others? Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at you, the Nightingale. You hurt me. Yeah. Let me just. So that's just what I've been doing throughout these NTI days. As you can see, I'm on vacation. Um, yeah. This, can I be honest? The real reason why I decided to do this is because I know you haven't heard my voice in a while. So I wanted to do this so it kind of feels like that I'm just talking to you face to face, even though I'm clearly not because I'm on vacation. So, yeah, we'll see each other again in person one day, just not tomorrow. So, I will bid you farewell. Hope you found this some I hope you found this enlightening. Um, do you like my hair? Yeah. For some reason, my hair has been looking the best it's ever looked when there was no one else to see it besides mom. So, yeah, I say yeah a lot. I'm working on it. I hope, you know, you haven't crashed out too much. I've seen your Instagram stories. I've seen them. Hmm. And I liked all of them. So, yeah. Um, I don't really have much to say. So, to you, my dear friend, just know that I'm always thinking of you in the most platonic way possible. I know you wanted to, so. And to anyone new who somehow stumbled upon this, I'm so sorry for the content. Um, I say yeah and a lot. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so I'm gonna say goodbye for now. I will see you. I will, sorry, I will see you eventually. I don't know when this video will go up, but whether you watch it tonight, tomorrow, 10 years from now, never, just know this little message if you're still listening. I care for you.